thank EACTS for the opportunity to share first human data in this interesting trial. So here's my conflict of interest. So why is there a need for sutured coronary anastomosis? So we need a standardized technique. We need an easy and fast option to create bypasses. It's all aimed to support minimally invasive techniques, but at precondition that meet the equivalent outcome. We need to provide similar results compared to open CABG and hands-on anastomosis regarding shorter latency. So the ELANA technique came from the vascular brain surgery from the Brain Technology Institute in 2007, 5 years later, followed by development towards coronary bypass surgery. And again, 5 years later, company AMT Medical was started. And this year we did the first human trial with the device. So this is the system. It consists of a heart clip, which is a single-use connector, easy to implant, which will be left into the body, and the arteriotomies are created by a laser catheter, 2 rows of glass fibers in the catheter. This is a short animation of how the procedure works. So chest opens and the IMA is harvested. This is control of the vessel, and then here comes the heart clip. It consists of several parts. There's a body with spring, upper fork, mid ring, and a lower fork. So the upper fork is open to the graft. The clip is closed. We have proximal control of the vessel, opening of the graft, and introduction of the laser catheter, which goes into the mid ring and is then stabilized and fixating device. The laser is activated and creates an arteriotomy, which is removed, and then the lower fork is opened, goes into the coronary artery, lip is closed, and then again the arteriotomy is created, flap is fixing onto the laser catheter by vacuum, is then removed through this end. So side sac anastomosis is created, this end is clipped, and any excess tissue is removed, creating anastomosis. So this is results from recent clinical work. On the top left corner you see the clip viewed from the LED of the pig, and you see after 6 months you see full neutralization. In the right side of that you see the histology, flow data, and angiography in the mid, in the beating heart, obstructed bypass on the right. We ligate the proximal LED to evaluate the outcome. So the first human trial, the first human trial is part of the multi-center safeguard trial. So it contains 2 phases. It's a shared collaboration between Deutsche Herzzentrum Berlin and Antonius Hospital Nieuwegein in the Netherlands. So first human is 10 patients, treated at 2 sites, sequential recruitment, safety and effectiveness analysis of 30 days, and then the data safety monitoring board have to advise on a go or no go for the next phase, based on follow-up for 5 years. After the go, another 65 patients will be recruited up to 8 additional sites altogether for 5 years. Hopefully you need to see a mark for the device. There's repeat angiography after 12 months. So this is the interim timeline actually this year. So the first patient was entered the study in April 11th, and then the last patient was entered into June 15. Then the data set was closed. We waited for 30 days for follow-up, and then a data safety monitoring board meeting and decision. So here you see some film material from actually the first patient we operated. Introduction of the clip on the left side, 2 stabilizing devices, apical stabilizer and the optical stabilizer. Here's the laser activated in the middle movie, and fixating device for the laser catheter is removed. the laser catheter is removed from the distal end of the left IMA. Here you see the final result. It's good to stress that for these first 10 patients, we decided to target big diagonal branches. So we made a Lima Y graft. So there's a hand-sewn Lima to the LAD. There's a Y graft going to big diagonal, and then any additional grafts are constructed either by spontaneous vein grafts or radar, depending on the age of the patient. We decided to do that for recruitment and for safety reasons. But it's the data: 10 patients, mean age 70 years, 90% male, normal ventricles, starter vessel, big diagonal 1, high-grade stenosis in 6 patients, diagonal 2 in 4 patients. So construction time is between 9 and 42 minutes. Flap retrieval of both IMA and target coronary in all cases. 2 cases need little stitches. Coronary wall thickness about 0.2 millimeters. Graft flow mean of 16 to 5.7 with good velocity index mean of 2.1, range between 1 and 3. The actual filling phase with 66%. 100% technical success. However, one procedural mistake was one of the clip was dislocated. After during flow measurement, there was recruitment of the lung. So with the flow measure around the IMA, the graft was pulled off. So we had to reconstruct, actually use the same IMA to make a hand-sewn anastomosis, actually the same flow and the same velocity index as the previous heart bypass. Total enrollment was 11 patients. 1 patient had exclusion criteria because of previous PCI to the LAD. That was the original phase of the protocol. It was an exclusion criteria. The protocols have been amended. So the idea was that we didn't want to stand in place on the target site. That's why it was in the protocol to exclude patients with previous PCI stand in place of the anterior wall. There was no cardiac mortality, no myocardial infarction, no target coronary artery revascularization. So 4 series of first events, 1 dislocated ELANA clip, as I told you, 2 cardiac tamponades, no bleeding from the anastomosis, but just diffuse bleeding because of fuel antiplatelet use of the patient. So 1 patient had coronary adverse. 19 adverse events, mostly atrial patients. So no device efficiency, 90% procedural success, and 100% technical success. So we received the go for phase 2 of the trial by the Data Safety Monitoring Board of August 2003. There were 3 advices: switch back to Lima LAD, which was the original strategy, move the coronary angiography forward, or back to 6 months follow-up instead of 12 months follow-up, to standardize preoperative ventilation protocol and attention for P2I 12 platelet inhibition status to prevent the bleeding problems we had in this initial first human series. And I cannot stress enough that this is really teamwork, it's collaboration, close collaboration between Berlin and us, with Professor Falk, Professor Jacobs, Professor Nazeri, Dr. Van Putte and myself in Antonius Hospital, and Mr. Brokers from the company supporting all the cases. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Patrick. Any questions?
Can I ask a question, Patrick? The flow rates were not very high, 16 milliliters per minute. What was the pulsatility index? That's one question. The second question is, does the excimer laser cut through calcium?
So to answer the first question, so the pulsatility is between 1 and 3. So the highest pulsatility index we had was 3, the lowest we had was 1. So all pulsatility indexes were normally and way below 5. And we're talking diagonal vessels, so 16 milliliters of data. For this, to give a clear idea, so we do this procedure on pump. So we start procedure on pump, negative flow in the target. So we construct all the hand-sewn grafts on plan, then we unplan, still on bypass, we construct the Elana Heart target on the diagonal. So I think these 60 milliliters are during pump, but not off pump. So we probably get underestimated flow.
And calcium? Can you cut through?
No, you need to find a good landing zone. It's the same. Of course, you have a little bit more bailout when you do hand-sewn anastomosis. Of course, you can cut through some part of calcium. Preferably also will shy away from that. So you have to find a nice landing area with a soft, normal vessel.
Yes,
Schmidt for Germany. Excellent presentation. I think it's a very promising device for the future, near or long-term future, I don't know. 2 questions. You presented a 0% device deficiency. On the other side, you presented the adverse events dislocation of the clip. Isn't it a device deficiency somehow? One question which might be interesting for the audience. And the second thing is, you presented 2 cases out of 10, so meaning 20% cardiac tamponades, probably based on bleeding. And was the bleeding maybe associated with the anastomosis, or please comment on it?
Okay. To answer your first question, no, we didn't consider it a device deficiency because we had already a patent anastomosis constructed. And then while we're doing repeat flow measurements, actually the anesthesiologist unannounced recruited the lungs, and then the lung pushed our flow measurement. Flow probe was still in the graft, and so the entire complex was pulled away. So there was already patent anastomosis, and then this launched. So we consider it a procedural failure, but not a device deficiency. To answer your second question about bleeding, there was no bleeding from the anastomotic device in the patient with tamponade. It was diffuse bleeding locally. It was not anastomosis related.
And you mentioned something about additional stitches.
Yeah.
Is that easy to do with after the procedure?
Well, in one of the cases, my colleague, he puts the octopus not parallel to the vessel, but 90 angle, like I think it was custom in Germany, in Berlin, and then there was not enough filling of the diagonal vessel. So when you laser them, and you make a bigger arteriotomy than you aim to be, then the vessel is pressurized, and then the hole was bigger than we covered. So an additional stitch was used to solve the bleeding.
And that is easy to do.
Yeah, you can do that.
As you know, there's been several distal anastomotic devices that have never made it to market. So what differentiates this one from the previous ones that didn't get?
I think so. The hallmark is it's a laser welded anastomosis. I think it's very easy to use. It's a clip with very limited number of mechanical parts. So you open it up before you need the vessel, then the laser goes in the docks. I think there is the biggest technical challenge. So the modifications probably needed in the future should be aimed at that stabilization of laser catheter and fixation. That's part. And the rest of the procedure is very simple. So opening the forks, introducing the creation of the anastomosis is the easiest part, because you just enter the pins into the vessel wall, you close the system, you stabilize it, and you create the anastomosis. That's a very simple step. The whole preparation around it takes a little bit longer. I think it's the ease of use, very limited mechanical part, and later welded anastomosis. So hopefully we can in the future further improve these technical aspects and then go towards the mini access approach.
And you can also do side to side, I guess.
In essence, this is a side to side. We have an alternative clip for a clear end to side device, but theoretically you can make jumps with this as long as you start proximally and work your way to this part.
Yeah. And put the left to the right, so when you make a Y anastomosis, is that also possible with the device? So to connect the two memories?
Theoretically, yes. Yeah, we already made end-to-end anastomosis also with another clip, so there's multiple options. So maybe in the future we'll have armamentarium on different clips to be utilized for any individual patient to create different graft constructions, striving towards full arterial revascularization of mini access.
Is there variability in the size, or is there a minimum vessel?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So in this trial, we started with a small clip. It's actually aimed for either diameters of 1.2 to 1.7 millimeters. So that's also why we targeted either diagonals or distal LED. There's another clip, it's a larger size clip, which is aimed towards bigger sizes targets. And I think the opening, the solid opening, this is 2 millimeters, standardized at 0.8, and then because of soft remodeling in the inside of the vessel, it can stand a little bit. But it's aimed for smaller size targets, but there will be multiple clips for larger size targets. Also why we go to the LED, we have to stay to the distal LED. And we know from preclinical work that these anastomosis, we can, if you do Remian testing, we can increase flow up to 100 or 20 milliliters without any problems.
Patrick, the platform as such can be used for robotic approach or needs modifications?
Yes, exactly. That's the started open surgery now to do these first results and to provide proof of concept, and then of course it should be aimed towards either robotic or mini access approaches.
Okay, thank you very much.